mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. And we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. And we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Whoops, give me a minute here. I am got my fair use up. 1 second, y'all. Well, hello, late night streamers. How are we doing? Hope everyone is well. Thank you so much for joining me. I am finally starting to feel like a human being tonight. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good to feel human again. You know, it's been a few days, man. Lord have mercy. Um, in a snappy purple shirt. You know it, Ryan. You know it. You know it. So while I was loading this stream up, I was in so we have a version of Discord. It's not a Discord, it's a different version that I just started up. It's for like my mods and research team. So mods, if you are interested in joining or anyone in research, email me and I can chat with you and send you the link to it, by the way. So you'll have to email me and I will send you the link. But already have a few people in there and they sent me Apparently, Bullhorn Yeti was on TikTok with the one and only Tony. So, um, I think we should listen to a little bit of that. For those of you that don't know, I'm not, I'm not trying to get any drama or anything, but uh, Betty the other night got really mad at myself, Trevor, ICU, and others that when all the when on the smiley thing that was going down, um, she said that I was not defending Seth. And, I kind of had that talk with you guys the other day. And she blocked Trevor, myself, and a bunch of us. So, yeah. So she can keep that. She can have it. But we do support Seth here. Yep. You were right. I see you. Yep. Yep. She was right. She certainly was. Certainly was. And I thought we could listen to it a little bit. Uh, oh, yeah, I mean, it's not like it is what it is, right? Um, just because you can be disappointed in someone for something that they do doesn't mean you don't support them, right? It doesn't mean you don't support someone. Yes, congratulations, Whistle While You Lurk on 1,000. Yes, Lisa. Yes, she did. She did. Yep. She sent me a letter or a text at like 6:30 in the morning saying that she was done, and she blamed another YouTuber for sending that uh thing, that recording to Seth's mother, which I don't really get it to begin with, because it's about Chris, about how he acts in the first place, right? So, yeah, you don't break up friendship over a different of opinion of a case. So, you know what? Onward and upward. Um, it is what it is. The people are losing their minds over this case, losing their freaking minds. So she can have it. Good luck with that. And let's review. I want to give credit to this channel because I've actually never heard of them, but I'm going to, their link is in the description. Dr. Vance. Dr. Vance is the channel. Link is in the description. I do want to give you a little bit of a warning. There is some echo in this. I am Texas Lady. I am, I try to be good to everybody, whether they're um, kind of an outcast or not. I really try to be good to everybody, whether we have differing opinions, whether they like me, whether they don't like me. I just try to be good to everybody, or just mind my own. So um I was just, a little shocked. Yes. And Stephanie, that's one of the reasons why. I think that was the main reason, because I support JLR, and she does not like that. She does not like that. And I'll be honest with you, I think that is what it boils down to be quite honest with you. Um, I've worked with JLR on the ground before. I've always supported him. I think he's always done great things. He's I don't think anyone should be judged by their past if they're doing good in the future, or in the now. And he clearly is doing some great things. So that's it. We have a tardy mod. Oh my god, Sharon. Yes. Yes, she doesn't like him for personal reasons, but um just because she doesn't like somebody doesn't mean I don't, I just because, we're adults here. You know what I mean? We're adults. Yeah, yeah, pink butterfly. I knew that long, 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 long time ago. Exactly, Lisa. Whatever happened with that? All right, onward and upward, onward and upward. There is some echo, so people's going to say, there's echo. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about it, but it's very interesting. Credit, is Tony Baloney and Bullhorn Yeti. Are they working together now? I don't know, but we're going to have to see. Oh,
It's time. Get up.
What? You can't have another bone.
Oh, so you know.
oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Got big plans.
Fast forward to here.
And I know what your plans are, so.
I'm sure straight do.
I know what your plans are. What's that mean?
You're talking about this evening, right?
Yeah. I'll be using my latte.
I should have said off the record, right?
Nah, we're just talking coffee.
Oh, great. Great.
Well, good evening, everybody in chat. I see you guys. I hope you guys are doing wonderful this evening.
So I think we're good to get started. People keep coming in. What I want to do, Betty, is I think everybody knows where you stand on this case, but I want you to have an opportunity for you to explain your stance on the case and how you got there and what you like about this.
It makes him sound more demented.
What you don't like about it, that kind of thing.
Right. Well, I think really my problem with this case is the amount of questions that I still have this far into the case. We don't have really any.
I think Tony's married, though, isn't he? Isn't Tony married?
Good background information. I mean, just from out the gate, was Sebastian Rogers overstimulated the night before, and did it cause problems for him?
This is Tony and
what was the 3-hour conversation that Katie had with Chris? Is that normal and customary, something they do every night? Because if it's normal and customary, it's not a big deal. If it's not, and it only happened this night, it could be a huge deal. What was Katie's demeanor like when the cops were at the house that morning?
All right. Well, you know what? Married with beachfront property, Betty will move right up.
All these things we don't have, and then we couple those with the behaviors of the parents. You got Seth out in the woods looking for his son. You would assume that the other half of the family would also be by his side out in the woods. And despite them coming to media at the beginning saying that they work together, they all get along, this, that, and the other, but clearly out the gate, nobody was helping.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I have a tough time believing, again, just my opinion, I have a tough time believing that with the situation that we've been told time and time again, their marriage was in, that it's normal to have a 3-hour conversation.
Yeah, it's just really weird. I did talk to some truckers, and they say that their long distance relationship with their husband, that they are normal and customary speaking to their husbands for several hours in the evening or during the day at one sitting. But it's, again, something that happens every single day or on a set schedule.
Does anyone in here have a trucker for a husband or someone that works long distance? Is that do you talk to your husband for hours every day? Is that something that's customary, as she states? I had one as a dad. Tony doesn't have beachfront property. It's a $500,000 home, but it's by a creek, not a beach. Same thing. You know what? Same thing. Listen, same thing. Betty doesn't care. She doesn't care, in my opinion. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding, guys. I've had several long distance relationships. I generally prefer it that way. And no, I would have blocked them if they tried to talk to me 3 hours straight. I mean, does anybody that's been married over 7 to 10 years talk to their husband more than 3 hours in a week? Anyone? Can I get 1, 2 people maybe? Maybe. My friend would be 2 hours regularly. He would call back. We paid for long distance, and my dad's wasn't a phone person. I mean, who wants to talk to their husband for more than 3 hours a week? Betty does not care. She proved that outside Beach, saying that she actually had that priority. My husband is a trucker. We live in Canada, and years ago he was mostly going down south. We actually did talk for hours. We've been together 32 years now, and sometimes still speak for us. That's wonderful, Huckleberry.
Definitely not something that they would do one week and not do another week. So it's definitely something that needs to be looked at. And the other question I have is, why did it take them 8 days to come to the media about Sebastian's story and case, and why it seems to coincide when the case publicly shifted and these search efforts were pulled back and they started entertaining the possibility of foul play? These things are coincidental to me, and I don't believe in coincidences in cases like this. So those are other questions. Again, all comes back to all these questions we know nothing about this late in the game.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree. And you guys, you guessed
YouTube Premium's $18.99 now. That's insane. I have YouTube Premium
in here tonight.
They raised it.
Feel free to ask Betty any questions. She is very analytical. She's very fact-based. It's clearly not her first rodeo. So, please be respectful. Absolutely. We're not going to have any baloney in the chat tonight. So, but
no Tony baloney.
Yeah, I'm the nicest person in the world until you get into my crawl, and then I'm just not a nice person anymore, and everybody complains. But just remember, you did it to yourself.
Can we say your famous line? What you say to people when they get out of line? I mean, I guess we
don't
can.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah, there you go. So.
we can all just follow the cardinal rule. I think we all.
Betty has been talking to him 5 minutes and 28 seconds, and she's already brought out the D. Just saying.
I'll be okay here on social media.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, if you guys have any questions for Betty, I mean,
oceanfront property in Arizona.
Just about opinions, obviously, because we're not investigators.
Right.
And,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm a very opinionated person, but I really try hard to get, there's a lot of stuff I don't say. There's a lot of stuff I don't talk about that is in my back of my head, and I'm just waiting for something to corroborate it, or, just something to push it over the line where I can talk about it in a more factual approach. I don't like gossip. I don't like, rumors and stuff like that. I mean, they're good, but they're not good. I like to be able to corroborate the rumors, so we're just not peddling horrible stuff. So I try to bring it back to the basics when it comes to this case. And
Tony has been peddling craziness, absolute craziness. He has been peddling. He has been peddling the craziest out of everybody, believing anyone and anything. He can sell her a crane. Well, yes, he can. Let me see here. Let me find it. Where is it at?
He needs some milk.
What, wrong one? Excuse me. Sorry.
the bottom line is we're all assuming, and this comes out of the right out of Chris Proudfoot's mouth. They are assuming that he walked out the door. They didn't physically see him go out the door. They are assuming that he walked out the door, but what they're failing to do is to assume the other side of that. What if he didn't walk out the door, and what?
Well, if he did not walk out the door, then he was carried, driven out of that house. They cannot, Chris and Katie, or specifically Katie, cannot assume anything else other than he was like literally walked out the door, or there has to be some sort of foul play. He didn't.
What does that assumption
disappear
mean
out the
to
door.
Katie and Chris? And they're not answering that. They're avoiding it altogether, which to me is suspicious.
Very, very, yeah. And I think that Seth has been pretty public about until today, where he was blessed with a longer conversation today. The only thing that they had told him factual was that they had no evidence that he ever walked out the door.
Yeah. And we learned that.
Hold on, guys. Attention, 479 people in here. BRB urination station for Debbie C. BRB urination station for Debbie C. You're welcome.
Front, because when this was just a missing person case, obviously they were looser with the gums than they are today, because this is not a normal missing person case. And one of the things that the media were able to do is speak directly with the searchers. And there was one searcher that says that in his 20 or 30 years of searching, he's never not found anything. And that was the situation that was I remember this because I remember watching it with my own eyes. And I remember watching it live. And it was one of the searchers that was out there. He had been doing this for a long time, couldn't find anything. He even stated that in my 30 years, I think he said 20.
Yes, guys, please hit that thumbs up. It is a free way to help out the channel. Make sure you hit that up so we can get it out to all the people in the lands. Thank you. Thank you so much.
30 or 33, something like that. Years of his experience, he's never not found anything. And this is one that's really got him perplexed or something to that effect.
And then Chris makes the comment that this is going to be a case they're going to be talking about in studies for years or something to that effect. Did you hear that?
Well, Don Wells said virtually the same thing, and we are at 3 mother chicken years now. We are at 3 chicken years. So I pray to God Chris is wrong.
I heard him say something, and then I also heard him, because in every conversation they talk out of both sides of their mouth. So, and we're just now finding out that, Chris believes that, if we just took all the noise away, this would just be a simple case of a child running away. No big deal.
So I guess the noise means critical thinking, right?
That's what I'm assuming. But I did find out Chris must watch me because he had a lot to say about me on another podcaster or another crap channel's interview where they gave him soft questions and wanted to talk about soda pop and drinks and stuff like that. It must be nice having a missing child and going on to talk about a child and never actually talking about the child, which is another problem I have.
I mean, they talked about Sebastian, that is Yeti, yes. They did speak about Sebastian, but they did not speak about anything pertaining to him missing or anything like that. Why does Bullhorn Betty sound like she's high in a school bathroom stall? Because she's probably high in a school bathroom stall. That's why. Come on, Poppy. Get with it. It's Betty. Let's roll with it, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. Tony, you're crazier than Tim. I know. I never thought.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you hear him really talk about Sebastian? I mean, forget the mom because she doesn't talk at all, but.
Oh, she was talking in this one too, but she didn't bring up her son's name either.
Yeah, I noticed that. Is that what we're calling those now, crap channels?
Well, it's this particular channel that really got it in the, pooper. And not only that, but I just a crap person.
TikTok Tony and Bullhorn Yeti.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I love about Betty, guys, is she is here for Sebastian, and she has made that very clear from day one. I've had a lot of private conversations with her, and the focus of those conversations is always about bringing this boy home. So, it doesn't take long to see where her heart is, for sure.
Yeah, and I've gone over maps, and I want to get back to the mapping. I feel like we're finally getting the ship corrected where, people are starting to focus back on these interviews, and they're pulling a lot of good stuff out of them. That Evil Exists has really been on top of some of these interviews and catching those aha moments and mistakes that Katie is making. I'd like to see more people doing those things because we had an idea of what could have taken place, whether it goes from, depending on your theory, from abduction.
Is this real life? I'm beginning to think it's the bathroom stall still.
To something more nefarious and more in the realm of foul play. But either way, we look at either one of those.
Ryan, are you there? Ryan, come back. Come back, Ryan. What? Summer's Army, thank you so much for my dear. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you much. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much.
We have to decide whether this boy went out of this house willingly or unwillingly. And everything that we're seeing is showing an unwilling participant because we have all shoes there. We have, there's nothing really supporting the fact that he willingly walked out by himself. And I started talking and unearthing another theory of mine related to whether his disabilities would actually allow him to walk out of the house. He has
TTT and BHB. TTT and BHB. You know she is recording those phone calls.
Sensory issues. It was very cold that night. Would he be able, with his sensory issues, to walk out there in that bitter cold without shoes on? You know, there's just a lot of things that I have questions about, but it all comes back to why do we not have the answers to these very simple questions 3 months into the case? And
I do not think that Sebastian would walk out with that very quick temperature change, on his feet, right? And just the whether it's 60 degrees outside or it's 30 degrees outside, it's going to be very cold, right? Oh, thank you, Summer's Army. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Means a lot. Thank you. I believe June 1st we will be back probably on J for A most of the time, and this channel I'm going to be doing a lot of on Clutch Them Pearls. I'm going to be doing a lot of kind of like biography documentaries on true crime and Hollywood as well, old Hollywood. So June 1st will probably be on J for A, and then this will be more. I'll still go live on here, but it'll be more like documentary, crime, and I've got places I'm going in the next pretty soon. As soon as the J for A is up, and then of course, Hey Sweetie, that's where I just do it all, go live and act crazy.
that to me is very problematic.
Well,
I
I have a high functioning autistic child that's very close to our family. And, they're they want to be in situations where they feel comfortable, which is why we talk about overstimulation. Mm-hmm. So do we really believe that walking out in the middle of the night in the dark would be especially with no shoes, would be a comfortable situation?
It's not going to be a comfortable situation.
It's a shock to the system, and that's the one thing that I'm learning that you should not have in autistic children. They're not spontaneous.
Exactly.
They're definitely not spontaneous, but like Southern Girl said here, Katie said he didn't like being outside, but yet we're supposed to believe he walked out with no shoes. That baby didn't walk out. He didn't walk out, in my opinion, either. I don't see he specifically did not like Galactic. I'm thinking about it. I've really been thinking about it. I've been reading on it. It's just kind of broke the last couple days. Does anyone have like a Samsung and got an update every time? Okay, Cassie, well, every time like I get a text message or anything, the flash on the camera flashes. It's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. People calling in tips. Sounds like Tim Mullins. Let me look at this. I don't know. I don't know about that, Cassie. Let me check. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I guess I'll turn it off and restart it, but it's annoying me. Like every time I get a text message or anything, it's like, I mean, it might be on like something like it is just randomly starts flashing when you get text. Weird. Yeah, it's just so weird. It's like I'll get a text or something and it's like, maybe it's like on, like people who can't hear. You remember like the old phones, there would be like a little red light and it would flash. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's like a hearing impaired thing.
Exactly. Everything they have to know. They even ask questions generally about everything you're going to do when you've already told them what you're going to do, because they just want to know and understand and feel comfortable.
Yeah, and I've talked to, I think I've talked to enough people that I have a good understanding that, no autistic child is really identical to another autistic child as well. I mean, they all have their little quirks. They all have their little needs. They all have their structure that needs to be catered to them specifically. So I'm finding out with all these stories
and this is the thing, like with, I turned the flash off in my Samsung settings. Oh, with Sebastian specifically, he was very high functioning autistic, very high functioning autistic, and I don't see all of his friends and everyone just said he was just a very much normal, whatever normal is, right? As well. So there's that. All right. So we'll come back to that, but I did want to show you guys something. Have y'all heard of, we're going to spend just a brief moment on this and then we're going to go over some more stuff. Have y'all heard of the treadmill deaths, the treadmill death, the treadmill, it is actually in court right now. The treadmill father, anyone heard of it? Put a 1 in the chat if you have, 2 if you haven't. I'm going to show you what this asshat of a human being done. And I do want to warn you, this may be disturbing to some viewers because the child is struggling. Child is struggling. Credit goes to Court TV for this, by the way. This is actual footage. Actual footage. So, 1 second. Okay, here we go.
Everyone's attention. 6-year-old boy, little Corey Micciolo, with his father, Christopher Greger. And it's a short time after all of this that Corey died. And now that father, Christopher Greger, is on trial for the murder of his son.
Look at this.
This case is started, and it's a short time. Micciolo with his father, Christopher Greger.
I cannot imagine jumping on a treadmill. He bites his head. I cannot imagine jumping on a treadmill when it's going that fast at any age. This man, I'm going to tell you about him here in just a second. It is awful.
And it's a short time after all of this.
Short time after this, he died.
That Corey died. And now that father, Christopher Greger, is on trial for the murder of his son. This case is starting to wind down, and there's just a few witnesses left. But take a look at the statement that we received from Greger's attorney, Mario Gallucci. Mario Gallucci, when we asked him, will Greger testify? Yes. At this point, we believe he is going to testify. That is subject to change, but the plan is for him to begin testifying on Friday. Now, that Friday would not be tomorrow. That would be a week from tomorrow, because let me show you what's coming up next. Tuesday, lawyers return for their charge conference. The next day, the jury returns for the state's final witness. Then on Friday, May 24th, the defense will call their final witnesses, Dr. Michael Baden, you know him, legendary forensic pathologist, and Christopher Greger.
Dr. Baden, he's a forensic pathologist. He is probably #1 in the world. I can't believe these. I mean, like, he's still alive. He is ancient. And he is the best.
Is expected to testify in his own defense. That testimony may take more than a day. If he needs to continue, that would continue on Tuesday, and then closing arguments would begin. So we are close to the end, but it's going to take a little while to get there in that
I'm going to tell you
case.
about it here in a second.
But we are hearing that he is supposed to testify. Another big day inside the courtroom today. Let's take a look at some of the biggest moments.
And the mother, they were split up. She was trying her damnedest.
His son Corey.
For a welfare check.
Okay. So, did you meet with them?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you meet with them exactly?
At Mr. Greger's apartment.
Okay. And that's in Bargain?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you met with them, did you make any observations of Corey?
Yes.
Okay. And what observations did you
The
make
right promise.
of Corey?
Saw some bruises to his legs, arms, and hips. I also saw a minor laceration to above one of his eyebrows. I forget what eyebrow exactly.
Not only did he make this child run on the treadmill forever, he allegedly beat the hell
While they
out
were
of
in
this
the stairway
child
leading up to the
until he
apartment.
died.
After you met with Corey and his father, and you did their
Terrible.
welfare check,
Mm.
did you, as an officer, make a decision?
He's an
Yes.
officer.
Okay? And the decision you made during the welfare check was
They tried.
that there
We're going
was
to get to it.
nothing suspicious, as you just testified, right?
Yes.
And that there was actually a good relationship between the father, Christopher, and
Yep.
his son.
Very similar.
Yes.
Okay?
I thought of the
You
same
took
thing.
no further action, am I right?
I mean, we called Child Protective Services.
But you had to because it was a welfare check of a child.
Correct. Yeah. When we saw the bruises, we
Child
wanted
was
to
failed.
obviously make sure.
Now, during this welfare check,
Not yet.
did you have an opportunity to speak to Christopher Greger and his son Corey?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and during that welfare check, did you see any bruising? Did you see any bruising to Corey?
Yes.
Okay, and describe for us where you saw the bruising.
Saw the bruising on his chest, his hip, legs, arms, and I believe there was an abrasion above his eyebrow.
All right. So, let me put that back up there 1 second. This is absolutely insane what this, dare I say, father did to this little boy. So, let me tell you about it. Corey, how do you pronounce his name? His last name. I don't want to say it wrong. Micciolo. Corey Micciolo involves his father, Christopher Greger, which is who you're seeing here on the screen in the suit. He is accused of causing his 6-year-old son's death by forcing him to run on a treadmill. The incident, which occurred on March 20th, 2021, was captured on surveillance, which I showed you a brief moment there just a little bit ago, on surveillance video at a fitness center. The footage shows Greger increasing the treadmill speed, causing Corey to repeatedly fall and struggle to get back on the treadmill. Greger then picked him up and put him back on the moving treadmill each time he fell, an action described as abused and cruel by prosecutors. Corey's mother, Bree, how do you say the last name again? Micciolo, had sought emergency custody of her son just a day before his death, citing concerns of abuse. However, her request was denied by the court. This child was failed, y'all. On April 1st, 2021, Corey was taken to a pediatrician where he showed bruises and other injuries, but no severe internal injuries were detected at the time. The following day, Corey's condition worsened, and Greger took him to the hospital where Corey succumbed to his injuries. An autopsy later determined that he died by blunt force injuries, including cardiac and liver contusions, acute inflammation, and sepsis. Gregor has been charged with murder and child endangerment. He pleaded not guilty, with his defense arguing that Corey's death was due to pneumonia, not abuse. The trial has included the viewing of the disturbing surveillance footage and testimonies regarding the events leading up to Corey's death. Christopher Gregor and his son Corey had a troubled family life marked by allegations of abuse and continuously custody battle. Gregor, a former high school football star and youth mentor, met his son Corey for the first time in 2019. From the beginning, there were signs of trouble. Corey often returned to his mother, Brianna, with injuries, which Gregor attributed to accidents during play. That's right. He met his son in 2019, and this guy, he was a mentor. He was a high school football coach, and he started going to his dad's house, and this happened. And she, in the beginning, they just thought it was play. Brianna, the mother, repeatedly reported Gregor to New Jersey Child Protective Services, alleging abuse and expressing fears that Gregor was using the treadmill as a form of punishment. Despite her efforts, she faced significant obstacles. Her emergency custody bid was denied just a day before Corey's death, with the judge ruling that there was no imminent danger to the child based upon preliminary findings from CPS. On March 20th, 2021, surveillance footage showed Gregor forcing Corey to run on a treadmill, increasing the speed and causing Corey to fall multiple times. The incident was pivotal in the subsequent charges against Gregor on April 2nd, 2021. Corey was taken to the hospital by Gregor, where he died from blunt force injuries, including cardiac uh, and liver contusions, acute inflammations, and sepsis. Gregor was initially charged with child endangerment and later with murder. He maintains his innocence, claiming that Corey's death was due to pneumonia. Bullshit, in my opinion. However, the prosecution presented evidence suggesting severe physical abuse. Brianna, Corey's mother, has since sued CPS for failing to protect her son, highlighting the system's failure to respond adequately to her repeated reports of abuse. And I'm sure that's still in some sort of litigation, but it is very, very hard. Everyone failed this child. Everyone failed this child. Literally the day before, y'all, the judge said, sorry, we don't find anything here. It's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So I wanted to bring that to y'all. All right. Let me see here. We're going to talk about Sebastian here in a minute. But there was one more thing that I wanted to show you guys about this is brought to you by, I believe, Law and Crime. That's a Monster. Army soldier allegedly beat infant to death days after order in heated custody battle. This man, again, was in the Army. One Love, thank you so much for your support, my dear. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, my Thank you. Appreciate your support. Means a lot to me. Guys, other ways you can support is hitting that thumbs up. Means a lot. If you would do that. Somebody sold my neighbor's lawnmower. You took that picture from me. I made that picture, but you're welcome. I don't care. I'm just saying. How come the state is never held accountable for any of their F ups? It's interesting, isn't it? Isn't it? So this guy right here is the father of this beautiful child, and he was in the Army, right? He unalived the child because that's okay, Jesse. Jessel, you can, of course. A North Carolina father and sergeant in the U.S. Army has been accused of unaliving his 8-month-old daughter, allegedly beating the infant to death in his home more than a year ago. Sergeant Gabriel Seville, who is in the 82nd Airborne Division stationed at Fort Liberty, is facing 1 count each of unpremeditated unalivings, involuntary manslaughter, and DV in the horrific February 2023 death of young Misty Lou Delator. Authorities confirmed to Law and Crime as a member of the U.S. Army, Seville is subject to the Uniform Code of the Military Justice and is not currently in detention after being released on his own reconnaissance. According to Michelle McCaskill, the communications director with the Army Office of Special Trial Counsel, following a preliminary investigation on April 16, 2024, preferred the aforementioned charges against Civil in connection with his daughter's death. The man on Wednesday appeared for a preliminary hearing in the matter of Fort Liberty. Such a hearing is, quote, required before referral of charges and specifications by trial. I want to get to the real parts here. According to the copy of the autopsy report from the state medical examiner's office obtained by Raleigh NBC affiliate WRAL, Misty in February 23 was in the care of her father here at the Fort residence of Fort Liberty when he called 911 and told the emergency dispatcher that his daughter was not breathing. The child was rushed to the hospital in Fayetteville, North Carolina for treatment. Due to the severity of her condition, she was then airlifted to the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill Hospital. It's a great hospital, by the way, where doctors said she was suffering from bilateral retinal hemorrhages. Oh my God. Throughout the entirety of both her eyes and multiple brain bleeds, per Durham ABC affiliate WTVD. She was pronounced dead a few days after arriving at the facility. Quote, her father stated that she had not been feeling well. Oh my God. And she had vomited. The autopsy report had stated that the Seville slapped her on the back to clear her airway. My ass. That's whatever. However, the medical examiner finding reported that the father explanation stating that Misty's injuries were, quote, highly associated with abusive head trauma in infants and would be hard to explain anything else, end quote. Her manner of death was reportedly determined to be a homicide, and the cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma to her head and neck. WRAL reported that Misty had been in the care of her father for a few days, which was the result of a court order following the court battle between the father and the mother. He had her for 3 days. That's it. The victim's grandmother said. The victim's grandmother, Misty Bray, told the station the judge in the custody case was so concerned about the benefits that the military offered that she wasn't concerned about anything else. Bray, who attended Wednesday hearing, told WTVD that she was shocked to learn the horrific extent of her granddaughter's fatal injuries. Having to find out injuries like that, like who does that? That's a monster. She did nothing. She may have been a little fussy, but that's it, she said. Oh my God. I'm going to fall. This guy beat this child so much that there was brain bleeds and there was literally her eyes were even bleeding. She may have been, yeah. Listen, they're babies. They're babies. They get fussy. They're babies, right? That's exactly what happens. And there's another case that I'm watching. It's a father starved his 6-year-old son in tiny closet for 16 hours a day for stealing food. Boy weighed 18 pounds when he died. He weighed 18 pounds. What is wrong with some of these people that are doing this shit? I don't understand it. Don't understand it. I wanted to talk about Elijah Vu as well. Little bit of stuff coming out from Elijah Vu as well. Elijah Vu is, of course, we've been following Elijah Vu. Hopefully, September. Thank you so much for your support. It means thank you, my dear. Appreciate your support. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you haven't yet already. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so YouTube might send you a notification. May not, but hopefully it does. So little Elijah, they are still looking for Elijah. EquiSearch is getting ready to go, has a fiercely protective uncle to find him. EquiSearch is going up there very soon, I believe next week. And they're going to be looking for him as well. Did you hear about Janet Garcia case and the video of her being arrested? She stabbed her son and threw him. I have not. Janet Garcia. When did this happen? I'm looking. Is it Ariel Garcia? Oh, wow. April 25th, 2024. Mother pleads not guilty after allegedly stabbing 4-year-old son up to 41 times. I don't know what's going on in this country. I don't know what's going on with this world, for that matter.
Tonight, Samantha Cavalli brings us this first alert update. 90 days ago, an Amber Alert was issued in Two Rivers.
Child was last seen near 3900 Mishicot Road, Two Rivers, Wisconsin.
Captain Andrew Rates remembers February 20th well.
It was unlike any other, missing child or missing persons case we've had, in the sense where usually within an hour, typically we found the child, they're with grandma, they're at school, wherever, and this wasn't the case that day, obviously.
At 11 a.m., Jesse Vang called 911 to report 3-year-old Elijah Vu missing. Vang is the boyfriend of Elijah's mother, Katrina Bauer. He had been taking care of Elijah for a week.
Look how cute he is. Look how cute he is. Hopefully he is found soon, but I would like to maybe go up to Wisconsin sometimes in the next month or so and maybe do a search and
leading up to the 911 call.
Do a little
After law
documentary.
enforcement learned Elijah was last seen at 8 a.m., 3 hours before he was reported missing, and the cold weather that time of year is dangerous,
Beverly,
an
thank you.
Amber Alert was issued. In a recent interview, the Two Rivers police chief stated they have no evidence to believe Elijah was abducted or just walked off. Captain Rates says thousands of tips and video evidence have been coming in every day to the police department from Manitowoc County and across the world. They're reviewing all of it.
The information that's come in that we have so far, whether it's video, whether it's whatever, points to a certain geographical area. And not to say that it's not outside that area at this point, but right now everything we have certainly points to this area as far as his location. And so that's where we put our resources into at this point.
That area is Manitowoc County, where Action 2 News first alerted you to multiple large-scale searches. It also includes a landfill in Calumet County where trash is taken from Manitowoc County. With the help of statewide resources, a large-scale drone search was conducted throughout the county. The U.S. Air Force and Civil Air Patrol are still analyzing the footage captured there.
There's evidence we're still in the process of going through. I mean, it's a lot to sift through. Like I said, the video files, I mean, that's not done. There's a lot to go through. And, to say that this is complete or that's completed, it's never really completed because there's always more. So it's tough.
According to court documents, Elijah had been staying with Vang since February 12th for disciplinary reasons after supposed bad behavior. Bauer wanted Vang.
This man is, let me just tell you something about this man. This man is so fucking twisted that he literally told the police officer what he did. Like, went and said, yeah, I make him stand for 2 hours in a corner and make him pray. And the last photo of this child was on a bed with his eyes and mouth bound with bruises all over him. This man is so fucking twisted. I hope he gets the brakes off of him. I hope when he goes to prison, I hope he gets the brakes. I hope he gets a beat down. He infuriates me. And shame on you, Katrina. Shame on you for allowing this SOB. You've had history with him before. You know better than this bullshit.
To teach Elijah, quote, how to be a man. The detailed punishment outlined in the criminal complaint includes tactics of standing for 1 to 3 hours at a time and threatening Elijah with cold water if he failed to do so. Cell phone data.
You tortured this baby. You tortured this child till his death. You said he wanted to be a man, make him into a man. A 3-year-old is not a man. That is not a man. That's a baby. That's a toddler.
Legally gathered by investigators shows Bauer visited Elijah twice while he was with Vang, including on February 14th,
Oh, she is.
where investigators say she took a photo of Elijah lying on a bed. Court records say he had a blindfold over his eyes.
See? Katrina was there. She took a picture of her son with the blindfold over his eyes. Listen.
Is appearing to have bruising on his jawline and neck on the left side, as well as bruising on his upper left arm.
Yes. And then you deleted it. Then you deleted it. Yes, please disguise any cuss words, please, if you don't mind. You are a fucking monster. Look at this kid. And Katrina, Jesse, you know exactly where Elijah is. You're not getting out of jail. You know you're not getting out of jail. Tell him where he's at. Tell him where he's at. At least he deserves a decent burial. He didn't have a decent life for 3 years. Poor kid. Some of these kids come into the world, and the day they are born, it is pure hell for them. This infuriates me. Absolutely infuriates me.
Photo was deleted about an hour later. Vang and Bauer are currently being held in the Manitowoc County Jail on child neglect charges. Here in the Wisconsin Dells, outside the apartment complex Elijah and his sister lived at with their mother, Katrina Bauer, a memorial.
And let me tell you something. Oh my God, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. Little Elijah's sister, she has Down syndrome. And I can't imagine. She's an older sister. She loved her brother so much. She loved her brother so much and was so protective of him. And my heart just absolutely breaks for Elijah's older sister. Just a few years older. She protected him. She did everything she could. You know, she loved to be a big sister.
Memorial has been set up here with the hopes of Elijah's safe return home. Now, we also spoke with a neighbor who tells us that they are holding on to hope. That neighbor asked to remain anonymous.
He's just the goofiest little kid, and I can still hear his little laugh. It's so loud, just boisterous, belly laugh, deep belly laugh.
This neighbor says their children were around the same age as Katrina Bauer's kids, and they often played together. They say they would offer to help Bauer with anything, whether it be errands or watching Elijah and his sister while she got caught up on things.
You could tell that she was struggling at times. She was a single mom, and she had her struggles too.
In an interview with our Milwaukee affiliate WISN TV, Katrina Bauer's mother, Jody, says Katrina struggled with a cycle of drug addiction going back 20 years. Jody says Katrina's life was deeply affected by the abusive father of her children, Jimmy Vu, who is in prison. The neighbor claims Katrina was going to a clinic monthly to stay clean from drugs, but she allegedly stopped going in January.
She fought so hard to get those kids back. So hard. And
She
tried
did.
to be the mom that she wanted to be.
The neighbor says the last time they saw Elijah was January 18th, about a month before his reported disappearance. The last time they saw Katrina was February 16th. They also say they remember seeing a man coming to the apartment building as early as October. That man, the neighbor says, was Jesse Vang.
He's been here since October, and now all of a sudden Elijah's not here. Obviously something was going on behind closed doors that we don't know.
Vincent.
Based on photos of surveillance footage from an auto shop in Two Rivers obtained by Action 2 News, Elijah was there with Jesse Vang the day the neighbors say they last saw
Look at
Katrina.
this photo right
The
here.
neighbors
Look at this photo right here. Look at this mother. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at this mother. Look at this mother right here. Looking at this kid, and look at this child is petrified. Absolutely petrified. Won't look at him. He is petrified because this mother chicken, he is in there getting a blow and go installed. Yep. Almost always. Almost always.
says they hope if Katrina has anything to share, that she does, and she has a support system.
We just want to focus on making sure that Elijah's found, and that, you know, the focus is on Elijah and making.
They need to pump the brakes on him so hard until he speaks.
Making sure that he's found.
Recently, the number of tips pertaining to the case have slowed down. Still, the Two Rivers Police Department continues to use every resource they have and remain
Two Rivers, they are amazing. I'm telling you what, they absolutely deserve applause. They absolutely deserve applause. They certainly do. Because they have been nonstop on this case. Nonstop, pedal to the metal. They have nonstop searched, been as transparent as humanly possible, and have just been
optimistic
great.
they will find Elijah.
Whether it's our agency, other local agencies, county, state, federal, the best technology we can, the best resources, the most expertise we can, that we're bringing all these things in, and that we're going to do everything in our power to find Elijah. So we appreciate the trust our community has in us to do that, and we'll continue to do that job.
Anyone with any information is asked to call the tip line at 844-267-6648. Law enforcement is offering a $40,000 reward for anyone with any information. Samantha Cavalli, Action 2 News.
Bad boy mowers aren't built for everyone.
So
they're built for the bold, the original.
They have just been absolutely great. I want to show you some things on Elijah here. Oh, wrong one. That's another fucking monster right there. So many of them, y'all. There is so many monsters. This is the last. These are the last public photos of Sebastian. He will not even, holding Sebastian's head, he will not even let Sebastian walk on his own. It was torture. And this photo haunts me. This photo absolutely haunts me. This little baby, 3-year-old. Can you imagine being 3 years old, y'all? Think about being 3 years old. Put yourself in that position. I would have been terrified. Absolutely terrified. And this monster right here wouldn't even let him not play with a toy or anything, made him stand in a corner for 1 to 3 hours, and then would use cold water. Sorry, I said Sebastian. I meant Elijah. I apologize. Cold water on him. He had bruising all around his face and his neck, and he was bound with the blindfold. And we have text from Jesse saying, I want him to hate me. This is Elijah's little sister. Little Elijah. He loved harmonicas. Absolutely loved harmonicas. And this is where Elijah was unalived. Let me show you something. They've been nonstop. When I see this, I think of Elijah. Oh, she knows exactly. She absolutely does. She absolutely does. Made Elijah stand for 2 to 3 hours at a time. Jesse said he didn't change Elijah's diaper when he woke up because he was just too exhausted. I don't know about you, but most of us here probably have kids or have changed a diaper and been so tired. You're exhausted when you have kids and they're in diapers. You're exhausted. But guess what? You do it exhausted. You do it with your eyes shut if you have to, half asleep, changing diapers. Get over it. It's part of having a kid. This is the timeline. I want to read y'all something. Let me find it. Let me show you something here. 1 second. Yep, they checked in a landfill as well. Sad that our kids are ending up in landfills because of this is Elijah's sister. Little sister. Look at her. She was always with her little brother. Breaks my heart. Look at her. She was so happy with her brother. This next photo is my favorite. Not this one, but look at him. They were two peas in a pod. This one right here. These photos right here melt my heart. So sad, man. Absolutely. Hell's wrong with people. I want to read you something. I can't show it though. Let me pull it up here. What this mother, son of a, did. And they have been, Jesse and has caused so much trouble. Elijah was last seen around 8 a.m., February 20th of this year, 2024, in the 3900 block of Micciolo Road in Two Rivers, a town on the shore of Wisconsin. Let me find it here. Okay. In Lake Michigan, Wisconsin, close to Lake Michigan, Wisconsin. The police received a call at 10:59 a.m. from the adult caregiver believed to be his mother's partner, Jesse Vang, reporting the boy missing. Despite extensive search efforts by the community, there has been no trace of Elijah Vu. Volunteers have covered state, county, and city parks as well as residential areas in hopes of bringing him home. Now, they did find his shoe outside of the home next to a dumpster. That's why they have been looking in the landfill. They did look in the landfill. The support for the community from the community has been remarkable, with people showing up for search for any signs of Elijah. Efforts continue, even though there has been no significant progress in finding Elijah. But I wanted to read this affidavit here because it is, I don't know if I have it, but I got this. Part of the affidavit states that Jesse says that Elijah did not like cold water. He denied following through with ultimatums when asked about what the victim ate while he was with Jesse Vang. He stated, quote, pizza, noodles, and cereal and similar items. The cereal was without milk, by the way, because he didn't want little Elijah to have any milk because he was trying to get him off the bottle. He stated that the victim child, one, was still being bottle fed when was trying to get him to eat regular foods. He was unable to provide specific details as to the food while Jesse Vang was sleeping. he would lock the door to the apartment at the doorknob, deadbolt, and with a security chain attached to the top of the door to keep I almost said Sebastian, Elijah from walking out of the apartment. Vang reported that the evening prior to victim child 1 going missing, he had consumed 3 12-ounce Budweiser beers and Colonzo benzaprine as a sleep aid. The next day, on February 20th, 2024 at 7:30 a.m., Jesse wakes up, helps his disabled son to school. During that time, he observes Elijah sleeping on the futon bed in the living room. He locks the apartment door and takes his son to the bus stop. 30 minutes later, Jesse wakes Elijah up and says they ate breakfast. He says Elijah ate cereal with no milk. Jesse then brings Elijah into the bedroom with him and tells Elijah to stand and pray near the foot of his bed. He says that he did not change Elijah's diaper because he was just too tired. Once a day for Jesse, changing Elijah's diaper was just too much. Idiot. Vang wakes up at 11 a.m. 3 hours later and says Elijah is gone. Immediately, Jesse calls 911 and police are dispatched. The same day, Jesse does a consent meeting with law enforcement and does an interview. The same day, unknown items are bagged and taken by police. A dinosaur shoe that resembles Elijah's is found outside next to a dumpster. That night, Jesse is taken into custody, and about 4 hours later, Katrina, the mother, is taken into custody, and the next day, a landfill is being searched. So, it's just absolutely unbelievable that there's people like this in the world. They have a decent idea about a grid that they think where Elijah is, but they still have yet to find him. A red and white plaid blanket was located on Goodwin Road east of County Road B in Manitowoc County earlier this investigation. Today, we can confirm that the blanket is Elijah's blanket. The blanket was located 3.7 miles from 3900 block of Micciolo Road in Two Rivers, where Elijah was reported missing on February 20th, 2024. Katrina, she lived quite a ways away from Jesse, and she was traveling back and forth. I want to show you this right here because this is very important. This is the timeline. Guys, do me a favor. It's a free way to help support the channel. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't yet already. It's a free way to help support the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Here we go. Appreciate it. Consider becoming a member if you haven't yet already. For just pennies a day, you can help feed a YouTuber. Just kidding. Thank you guys. All right. So, all right, here we go. So, Elijah starts being with Jesse in January. Hey, Josh. He starts being with Jesse in January, right? And Katrina starts leaving him. On February 12th, 2024, Katrina drops off Elisha with Jesse in Fond du Lac, which is where his apartment was. Katrina and Jesse discuss coming to the next day, pre-Valentine's Day. Katrina and Jesse began discussing Katrina coming to Jesse's apartment for sex. Jesse says that Katrina cannot see Elijah when she gets to the apartment, and that Elijah can be placed in the bathroom while they have sex. And this is according to their text messages. That's on February 13th at 9:30 p.m. At 10:12 p.m. on the 13th, Katrina messages that Elena, which is Katrina's the little daughter of Katrina's, which is Elijah's sister. Katrina says that her daughter can sleep in the car. And remember, this is Wisconsin winter, in the dead of winter. It was like 23 degrees outside. At 11:45, Jesse says that Elijah will be put in the living room and that Katrina will need to be quiet walking through the house, according to text messages. We're at 11:45 p.m. Now, at 12:39 a.m., which is just about an hour later, it's technically the next day because it's after midnight, Jesse asked Katrina to send him her location so he knows when to put Elijah to sleep. They discuss Katrina stopping at Quick Trip in Manitowoc while on the way, according to text messages. Now, that was at 12:39 a.m. We are now at 2:27 a.m. Katrina arrives at Jesse's apartment. 7 minutes later, Katrina asks Jesse, is there a way to completely turn off his headlights? Jesse responds, no, not completely. Katrina says that she can not find Elena's cell phone, but a cop just passed by. So I want to make sure she's good, Katrina says. Let me find her phone quick because I need to have some type of sound for her. Jesse says, probably think someone is warming up the car. Katrina responds, not worth the risk. I'll leave it off for a bit and then turn it on again. Jesse responds, okay. Katrina says she found the phone, but it's dead. She says she will leave her phone in the car. Now at 2:40, 5 minutes later, Katrina questions whether to leave the phone on but mute it so she can to leave the phone on but mute it. She says it should stay warm for a bit, right? Meaning the car. And he says, yeah, it will. At 3:13, so 2:40 a.m. to 3:13, which is 33 minutes later. So Jesse, you're a little punk, and you lasted probably less than 5 minutes because she's already done with you. After all of this, she's already taken pictures. Anyway, had to dig at him. 2:40 in the morning, Katrina asked, 3:13 in the morning. a photograph is taken, and GPS shows that the location is at 3918 Micciolo Drive, Two Rivers. The photo is Elijah laying down on a bed. Elijah has a blindfold over his eyes, appears to have bruising on his jawline and neck on his left side, as well as bruising on his upper left arm. 1 hour later, actually 59 minutes later, Katrina deletes that photo of her son. 18 minutes later, after Katrina deleted that picture on the phone, she leaves Two Rivers. According to the National Weather Service, the low temperature in Two Rivers on 2/14 was 27 degrees, and the high was 36 degrees. The next day, 2:15, 8:24 p.m., there is a photo of Elijah standing in a corner in diaper only. Hands appear to be in a praying position, and the diaper looks full. It appears to have been taken in Jesse's apartment, according to Facebook messages between Katrina and Jesse. Just really fucking sad. So, that is the last photo that I am aware of. I believe, on 2/17, there's a text message of Jesse to Katrina in which Jesse tells Katrina that he is angry Elijah overfilled his diaper with poop and pee, and that he gave Elijah a cold shower. I think that was the last time Elijah was abused by this motherfucking monster. They still have had hundreds looking for him, and we have had drones, FBI, horses, a lot of police still searching. I don't understand how they hid him so well. I know. I'm praying that this sweet little 3-year-old boy is found and found soon. Here's Katrina smiling, being a evil person. This is outside of the home during the winter. Jesse looks much different now. He's a little frail. Asshat. This is the door to the apartments. Trash is over here. The shoe was found on the other side. So anyway, hopefully something comes of it. He couldn't have buried his ground was frozen. He is somewhere hidden, and the mother won't say. I think she knows. Oh, I absolutely think she knows. I mean, the ground was definitely frozen. Could it still have been dug? I don't know. You know, it would have been very, very hard. I think he is. Yeah, his blanket was found. His blanket. Wait, was it over here? Goodwin Road, east of County Road B in Manitowoc, 3.7 miles away. They have a good vicinity of where right? Like he may be, or what they think he is, but they have still yet to find him. You know, you think the water, it's very possible that he could be in the water. Would that detour the dogs? No. No, they would still be able to uh they would still be able to find him. Now, like, whenever he was disposed of, right? If he was in, out of, or even if even if he wasn't like in a tote or something like that, because it is so cold in Wisconsin, um, he's going to, the decomposition is going to be slower. But obviously we are in almost June now, so several months. So serial killer in BC, Canada he was assaulted in jail through justice. Tough justice. Very much so. Very much so. And the lake effect snow can happen so quickly too, right? It can be no snow and that lake effect snow comes and it will pile up in just a matter of minutes. So there's that. Calls were 1 hour every day. I know what you mean. I don't know what you mean, run with scissors. Let me see here. Just so much going on in the world right now. Along with blankets were partially thawed, had a warm winter. Yeah, but I mean, even a warm winter in Wisconsin is cold, right? I mean, you may not have a lot of snow, but it's still pretty cold. The blanket was found at a dumpster, if I recall, near a store. No, the blanket was found. I don't think it was, Lisa. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it was found just next to a country road, like in the middle of like the side of the road. But there is a let me find it here. Facebook Find Elijah Vu discussion. So there's that. I've been wondering what this text from Jesse was. Katrina, February 15th. Was Elijah warming up after another ice cold bath? Jesse message probably thinks someone is warming up. Oh no, he means the car there. Sorry. I wanted to show you this. Let me show you this because this is interesting in my opinion. The more you know, right? Let me find it. Child abuse in the US. Number of child fatalities due to abuse or maltreatment in the United States in 2021 by perpetrator relationship. Mother is number 1, 408. Two parents, like meaning both parents, being involved, 311. This is just the mother. This is both parents, and the father would be next. And the next would be step parent, relative, other, unmarried parent or partner, 41. Two parents and non-parent. I don't know what that means. Two parents and more than one non-parent perpetrator. Daycare provider, 21. Friend or neighbor, 9. So, one of Elijah Vu's Facebook sites near the bar area. I don't think so. Inspirational. So unbelievable but true. Yes. Yep. It is. So I thought that was very interesting to see their mother, two parents of, meaning both parents involved, and then the father. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Overwhelmingly, the parents are usually the ones involved. It might have been a sheet. I could be thinking another case that was a younger child. This was like a plaid sheet, if I recall correctly. I can't believe Casey Anthony got away with killing. Reno, I agree. It's the bull. You know what I mean? It's terrible that a child, not only gets unalived, but truly doesn't get justice, like real justice that they are so deserving, at the very least that they can get, right? 1 second. All right, guys. Plaid fleece blanket. Yes, plaid fleece blanket. The prisoner that was assaulted in hospital is the famous pig farmer who, oh, yes, she was that was like a woman that turned to a man, or a man that turned to a woman, and she had people living out on her property, and when she would get sick of them, she would unalive them, and she let the pigs eat them. It was unbelievable. And it was crazy. Just crazy. Yeah. Can't. Pinkerton is a man, Justin. Like originally a man, or flipped it, reversed it. I don't know how you say it, whatever. Blessings to you, inspirational. Thank you, my friend. Yes, was born a man. Okay. And was Pinkerton? Oh yeah, because okay, let's see here. Look at this. Hold on. I will look at that in just a second. Let me show you this real quick. Credit goes to court.
Amazingly good time.
I don't mean to interrupt you, okay? Neither of us were here yesterday, so if you can be kind of like specific about like times and stuff like that, okay?
Woke up around 7:15, somewhere around there, which is an early start for us, but we had talked about getting McDonald's breakfast beforehand, so we wanted to make good time. We did make good time. We got out the door maybe 7:30, 7:45-ish, maybe. Got over to that area. She was asleep in the car most of the time, just snoozing until we got there. We got to McDonald's. We're close to McDonald's. I said,
Look how chill this dirt ball is.
"You still want it?" Wasn't interested in the McDonald's anymore, so we continued on. And she wanted to be dropped off a little down the ways from the school. She's got this phase that she's been into lately where she's very particular about what car she's seen getting out of in front of the school. She prefers her mom's car, but my cars are, I guess, kind of hoopties. I get it. It's an image thing. But that was sometime probably between 8:20 and 8:40-ish, somewhere in there. It was along the stretch of the road that on the right side that has all the communities on it. Before you get to the overpass. You could see the overpass from where it was. So it was on that side, on that stretch of road, and that's where I dropped her off. She said she was going to go wait for her friends. She was going to go find them and hang out and wait for her friends. And I asked if that was going to be okay. She said, yeah, it's fine. Kids get dropped off early enough as it is. It's not totally unusual for that to happen. It's just not usually that early that I drop her off. I do school runs every once in a while for her. I said, okay. Let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too. And I turned around and was driving away and was watching her in my rearview mirror to make sure that she was going where she was to go. And she was moving in that direction, but she was rummaging around in her backpack or something. What I assumed was probably headphones or something like that. But
Jen,
she forgot her
Jen, in my opinion, needs to be charged.
phone here, so she may have been rummaging for her phone. But she was still kind of making her way towards that direction, so it looked okay. Looked like any other day. And I just continued on.
After you dropped her off, what did you do?
Stayed, talked to her for a minute, made sure, is it all right that you're going early? Because it was still early. She said, yeah, it's fine. I'm going to hang out and wait for my friends to get there, which she does sometimes, so it didn't sound outrageous or anything. That was it. Told her to have a good day. I loved her. She told me she loved me too. I turned around to leave, and I was watching her in my rearview mirror. She looked like she was walking in the right direction. She was rummaging in her bag a little bit, like I said, but still sort of just shambling in the right direction while she was doing it. So it looked normal. It looked okay.
Okay, and then what did you do after you left the area?
I left to go to the local vape shop because I needed some more vape
He's a
juice.
creep. He's a fucking creep,
They weren't
man.
quite open yet, so
She
I ended
does,
up going
Benson.
back home. Waited about an hour or so, and then went back and checked the vape shop again. It was open, so I got what I needed there.
I feel like there was no love for this little girl. Like, the mom was not even at the birthday party. That set red flags for me.
Do you remember what time you came home?
The first time was probably right around 10, close to it. And then I waited here and went back to the vape shop. Probably finished at the vape shop and came back home again a little after 11.
And then what did you do after that?
I had a couple errands to run over on 192. She was talking about making a BJ shopping list. She just wanted to make sure I was back in time for us to both go pick up. So I was visiting some card shops around the area on 192. I'm kind of a nerd.
I wonder where Jen is right now. Is
We
she
had a new
in a
spring
hospital
cookie
with
in
her
the leaf,
sister still?
Seeing what the situation was with it.
Do you remember what places you visited?
Yeah, Coliseum of Comics.
Yep.
Stopped by a couple Targets, and I was going to go to House Rules Games down by Oak and 192. But I didn't make it that far. I got a flat tire on the way.
Do you remember where you got your flat tire?
It was on 192. I pulled into one of those.
I don't know. I think Steven was there and he knew what he was going to do after that
plazas
party.
Somewhere. It's been about 10
Hey,
years
scissors.
since I switched out a tire, though, so I made a lot of rookie mistakes and ended up pinning my thumb between the frame and the jack. Yeah, I'm lucky it's not a lot worse than it could have been. Remains to be seen if I'll keep
Do you
my
remember
thumb
the
in.
name of the plaza by any chance? Do you remember like what stores were in this
It
plaza?
was like right before you got to Oak, though, so it was one of those little strips.
Okay.
I know.
I don't know. You've probably been asked already, but
I mean, you send your 12-year-old daughter to sleep with your. I can't even say it.
she's never ran away or been away for longer than a certain period of time, amount of time? Nothing like that?
No, she's very dependent on us. I don't think she'd know what to do if she did run away. She's not the type. She's a good kid.
Besides the ADHD, is she diagnosed with anything else?
Yeah, she was tested a while back and had some symptoms of autism, so she's potentially on the spectrum there.
Okay.
She was officially
I
diagnosed
don't think she was autistic. I think you guys just fucked her mind up so much.
with it when she was younger, and then she
Poor
was
kid.
retested and said, well, she shows symptoms of being on the spectrum, but maybe not full-on autistic.
When did you come back to help? Pardon?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, because you live down south, right? When did you come back up north to help her?
I just got here this weekend.
Do you remember what day it was?
Sunday was her birthday party, so yeah, it was the evening after her
I cannot
birthday
with
party.
this.
Sunday.
This man.
Okay. Do you remember what time you got here on Sunday?
8:30ish maybe.
Okay.
Just in time to make sure that she was doing all her nighttime routines.
Her nighttime routines or your nighttime routines, you
Did you
sick.
guys go anywhere last night? Was that media?
Maybe. I think Fox 35 or something was coming.
Let me, if it is,
Yep.
let me tell him he needs to take it out.
Okay.
I don't recall. You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall. I was so zonked out on Ativan at that point.
Okay.
She said it was a wreck. I don't
And
think.
this would have been when?
I don't recall us going anywhere last night, but honestly, at that point, my brain was mush, and I was on so many tranquilizers to keep me stable. It's just.
You said Ativan?
Yeah.
You make a U-turn, you go back to the McDonald's, but you said that she still doesn't want the McDonald's.
Still doesn't want it. She was just going to eat the Danishes that I had given her.
So you're going up here now, still northbound on Jungyoung Parkway.
Mm-hmm.
You make a left at Town Center this time.
Town Center, then make,
Then
a,
make a
right
right.
onto,
Mhm.
yes.
And
the
then you
school
drop
road.
her off
And
around
then
like
dropped her off around halfway up the road there.
So keep in mind, all of this is still northbound,
Okay.
right? You're still northbound on Jungyoung Parkway.
Northbound.
So why is your car seen going southbound at 8:10?
Say it, Steven. Tell him. Sick bastard.
I'll show you what location it is. McDonald's is over here.
Oh shit, buddy.
8:10.
Right? You sick bastard.
Your car is seen going southbound at this intersection. So meaning going toward Kissimmee.
Mm-hmm. I had forgotten something. I had forgotten my gate clicker. I'm sorry. I forgot. I had gone back to the house real quick after we left because I forgot my gate clicker. I actually had to go through the front gate and use my parking pass to grab my clicker. So it was the wrong time. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was guesstimating these times. I'm not a morning person.
No.
I don't think
You know
I have
they're
any
catching
other
on to you,
questions.
bastard.
Do you,
I
Louis?
don't know where my head was yesterday. It was so far up my backside.
That's okay. We understand. In the meantime, while we're waiting for all this to get sorted out,
Bunny, I think there is a sick, sadistic side of him that he is a tough guy when it comes to someone that is not as strong as him and doesn't
I am
fight
gonna
back.
hold on to your phone, okay?
This
I'll
little girl didn't even fight back. You know what I mean? He just literally ripped the life out of this child. Madeline was such a humble, sweet kid.
give it back to you when we're done. Okay? Do you have any questions for us?
How long are you gonna need my phone?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting for my supervisor to call me.
My dad. It's just my dad's using that to get a hold of me and get updates.
They can call Jen's phone.
Okay.
Did the other detective give you his business card?
I believe so.
Okay, well, here's mine in case you want it for any reason.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you swear that everything you told us is true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. I know it's a little hectic right now.
Yeah, true my ass. There ain't nothing true for you, Stephen. Nothing. Nothing at all.
How many?
We listen to that. Let me find this right here. There is nothing true. Look at this. Look at this bastard.
He thought he was going to remember all those details is another thing. The fact that yes, that she was ADHD, she had ADHD, and she was on the spectrum, but he kind of didn't want to admit that she was, he was trying to hedge on that one. But also he talked about being on Ativan. He was so trying to make a point that he was so out of it at that time, and
he was not out of it.
And then he went to the vape shop too. So I was thinking whether he was trying to make a case. I mean, at that point, he still thought until there was that gotcha moment when they said, no, you weren't going north, you were going
she's
south,
going to be.
or vice versa. But I was wondering if he was trying to make a case for his not being fully present whenever he did what he did, whenever he killed her, allegedly.
Looking a little ahead. Joseph Scott Morgan, I have two things for you.
Okay, I'll look at it.
Number one, he said he fed her Danishes. That's something that you should be able to figure out in the autopsy.
Yep, there should be Danishes in her stomach.
Autopsy is my guess. And then your reaction to the moment when they take his phone and he's like, how long are you going to have that phone? What'd you think of that moment?
Yeah, first let me confirm, Vinny, that that is something that we would be able to easily appreciate at autopsy. So that's confirmatory evidence that we can shore up as a result of the autopsy. That's pretty standard stuff. I hope that the forensic pathologist was armed with that information prior to the start of the post.
Yeah.
Now, as in regards to his reaction, I had, I was kind of thinking about this just for a moment. He sees this thing slipping away from him, and we are to continue to understand this narrative as it unfolds. This is his little library that he has. This is what he has documented, allegedly, all of these horrible deeds that have been perpetrated on this child over a period of time. It's something that he would have kept close to his side.
Sunday night, 8/7 Central.
Only on Court.
I'm that person for her, This girl knows nothing but love here in this house.
This girl knows nothing but love in this house.
You listen to that from the interview of Stephen Stearns, knowing what the allegations are, and you listen to it in a whole different light.
We'll listen to it in just a second.
There are also a lot of documents released today. We're going to start going through them tonight. I want to begin by sort of putting together a little bit of a timeline of this investigation. We begin February 27th. Authorities confirmed
Betty has been nasty lately, JLR. She knew about he has devoted his time like you to the voice for them. Thank you, Fire and Ice. I appreciate you. Means a lot.
that Madeline never arrived to school. They begin this investigation. In these documents, it's revealed that Detective Hunt interviewed. It's marked off. It's blacked. It's not shown. But Jen Soto and Stefan during the initial phase of the investigation. During these interviews, Detective Hunt noticed some inconsistencies. Detective Tagler confronted Stefan about his locations during the interview, but Stefan would provide answers that did not match up to the vehicle location. Upon reviewing the security video, Detective Tagler observed Stefan's vehicle exiting the complex with a female wearing a green sweater in the front passenger seat. The female was slumped over to her left, which is an abnormal way for a person to be seated in a vehicle. Let's bring back in our guest.
He had her slumped over. Had this child slumped over.
Shannon Butler, is this new? Did we know that they had seen her slumped on the way out as opposed to returning to the complex?
I can't remember if that was officially known. We knew at the time that the sheriff had said, remember, he said, we can't really tell 100%, but we believe she was dead when she left the apartment complex. That's because of that video there where she was slumped. They believed that she looked like she was dead when she drove out of that apartment complex. So we did know that.
This man, yeah, would have been slumped over toward him. I guess he carried her out. Too bad Tennessee's detectives are too stupid to see inconsistent. Yeah, exactly. Slumped over. He had her slumped over. Yeah, like on the center console. He has her dead. Almost like, you know, he's got like, it is unbelievable. Yep. Yep. You're right, Thomas. Yep.
But we didn't know exactly how she was positioned and why they came to that conclusion. They had other video too of her dumping the backpack and her laptop, so that helped a little bit with trying to make that statement from the sheriff. But they were pretty sure with that video that Madeline was not alive when she left that apartment complex. He did, though, we know that has not been released yet, but I have been told they do have other video of him moving her from the front seat of that car into another location before.
I mean, these detectives did a great job. Bet he even buckled her into. Oh, absolutely.
Or they say he dumped her body.
Wow. Wow.
It's
okay.
Just unbelievable.
Let's get back to the timeline. Still February 27th, based on surveillance video, authorities request search warrants for the home and for Stephen Stern's phone. Next day, while a search warrant is executed at the home, authorities begin going through Stern's phone. Upon reviewing the contents of Stephen's phone, it was discovered several images were saved in a Google Drive. One folder that appeared to dedicated to Madeline contained over 1,700 files. A majority of these
1,700 files, y'all. Listen to this.
Photographs. This is tough stuff, folks, and videos
showing her in different SCX UAL positions. 1,700. I hope they
photographs and videos showed Madeline in different sexual positions. Based upon these images, Orange County detectives began to author an arrest warrant for Stephen Stearns. Ken Jackson, this was the first big moment in the investigation, and it was based upon what they found in the phone. Now we know it's photographs and videos, but 1,700 files.
Yeah. Oh, and his phone was accidentally factory reset.
That number really doesn't shock me when the documents from when the defense agreed to begin the discovery process, the state's attorney told him to have ready a drive with a terabyte of space. That's 1,000 gigs. That's 1,000,000 megs. So I knew from that the amount of data was going to be large.
And you talk about large amount of data equals a large amount of abuse through the years.
Yes, Vinny.
And he kept it all.
Well, we've said that we've heard that these that we can time some of these back.
And the thing is, how many more Stephen Stearns are there?
Back to 2022, when Madeline was 11. Hence the charges along the 60 of sexual assault on someone younger than 12. That's a span of 2 years.
Still February 28th. As the arrest warrant is being written, authorities begin to interview Jen Soto. Here we go. Jen Soto stated her and Stephen had been dating on and off for approximately 7 years. She stated while they were together, they would either all sleep in the same bed or would sleep with her when Stefan was not there. When asked if it was normal that Stefan and Madeline would sleep together without her being there, she said yes. Let that sink in. Jen stated if she needed a good night's sleep due to her anxiety, she would ask them to sleep in a different bedroom. You've got a mother and her boyfriend living in this.
That alone, she should be put in jail for, in prison. That alone. That alone, she should be put in prison for the rest of her life. Just saying that this. I mean, literally.
This home with her daughter.
Letting him.
Mom sleeps alone, and saying.
I mean, how did Jen get this twisted in her mind that she became okay with allowing her child, when Jen couldn't sleep good, to allow those two to go in a bedroom together? This child had 1,700 photos. This man was taking photos of this child in different positions for his gratification. His sick, demented, twisted, and she knew this. This bitch needs to be in jail pronto.
And Stefan off with his daughter to sleep in a different bedroom? Jen did not want to believe that Madeline and Stefan were engaged in sexual activity. Well, it's not sexual activity, it's sexual abuse. Jen asked to see the image of Stefan and Madeline. I pulled out a printed picture from Stefan's Google Drive that showed Madeline, I'm sorry, folks, I have to read it, with Stefan's penis in her mouth. Jen said she didn't recognize anything in the picture, as if she was in denial. However, she became visibly upset. What's going on here, Dr. Carol Lieberman?
Yes,
with Jen.
What's going on? I'm sorry?
What's going on with Jen Soto?
Yes, Jen Soto should be charged already, although I guess they want her to help more with giving more information. But clearly, when it said that she thought it was normal for a teen girl to sleep with her stepfather in the same bed with her stepfather, one could give her the benefit of the doubt, which I am not inclined to do, and think maybe she meant it's normal, like that's how they, like usual, that's what they usually did. Of course, the pictures that you just described, for her to pretend, for her to be in denial, I don't think it was denial. I mean, she might have been shocked that they had those kinds of pictures, right in front of her, the evidence. But she had to know. She had to have known. And then, of course, they said that she broke down after that she had a visible upset reaction. So, I don't think this was the first time that she ever imagined this idea. And of course it's horrible. I mean, let me just say that up front, that the idea to think that it is normal or it is okay for a teen girl or any age child to sleep in the same bed.
It's very rare, right? Because a lot of us in true crime, we see a lot, right? We hear a lot. But it's very rare to see a panel literally just all shaking their head and so uncomfortable. This is, it just takes the cake. Just takes the cake.
And as one's stepfather, one's boyfriend, it is absolutely not okay.
Let's continue the timeline. Police, still February 28th, excuse themselves and start to interview Stearns on his relationship with Madeline Soto. Stefan was asleep when I entered the room. Stefan stated, always, Madeline needed human contact when going to sleep. Stefan referred to it as snuggling. I asked Stefan if he had a Google account.
No, you were abusing.
And he stated he did. Stefan stated he did have pictures of him and Madeline saved to that account. When I asked Stefan about all the pictures he had saved, Stefan...
1,700 images, 1,700 images of this man abusing this child with body parts in different.
Then asked if he should be talking to a lawyer. Shortly after that, Stefan requested an attorney. Stefan was arrested for
Talking to
sexual
your
battery.
creator, motherfucker.
Joseph Scott Morgan, I don't even have a question. What is your reaction to all of this as we're learning this from Jen Soto and then Stefan about what's happening to this little angel?
He's documented every bit of this deplorable, horrible behavior along the way. And I don't want to step on Dr. Carroll's area here, but I do know this, having worked cases involving sexual predators and the deaths of children that are associated with this. One thing's kind of fascinating about these people that perpetrate these crimes on children. They prefer certain age sets many times. And, a couple of those bracketed sets will run from approximately low end like 10 to 11 up to like 13 and 14. And then, and this is kind of an interesting thing to explore, they dispose of them in one way or another. Either they separate themselves from the victims or something fatal happens. And as horrible as this is with this precious child, I wonder if it had come to an end for him, because, you said yourself, Vinny, that these...
Thomas, he was recording the videos.
Files are voluminous. What was it you said, like 1,700?
1,700 files.
Videography as well. So once she had no more utility for him, no more utility at all, I really wonder if this is what has occurred in this particular case. And I'll give you one more if you like that. I would be very interested as to any other children that he may have had contact with that hit in this particular age range over the past. And I hope that our friends in law enforcement are looking at this. They could take this back as far as they can. Yeah.
And Jen described the relationship on again, off again. So when he was away, who was he with then is the big question.
Yes, they were on again, off again. And remember, he just came back, not so much to be with Jen, but he just came back, he said, as a roommate. Serious
question, right? Everyone's staying with us. When we come back, we have more of this newly released, extremely disturbing information, but now we understand what was happening to Madeline Soto and the...
She was so happy too. She was looking forward to my visit here. She was looking forward to us all being together. She was just happy. She was just very happy.
The look of him and his voice makes me want to throw up.
I loved her like she was my own.
She wasn't happy. There's no way she was happy.
No way.
This video was found on his Google Drive. Okay, I'm going to describe it again. It's bad. A video file depicting a prepubescent female resembling Madeline, who would have been 8 years and 4 months old. Madeline is laying next.
This was going on at 8 years and 4 months old. Trigger.
Next to Stefan in a bed watching cartoons on the television. Stefan is asking Madeline to put his penis in her mouth for 3 seconds as he counts. Stefan states Madeline would not be able to play with a phone unless she did it. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about tonight. There's a lot more to get through, but I want to bring back in our guests. It's tough. Shannon, I know you're still investigating this, going through all the papers. Anything else that you think we should know tonight that you've come across, or a question that you still have?
Well, that statement you just read just then, she was 8 years old. If you look through the documents, she was just 8 years old when that happened. That's the evidence that they could find all the way back to that age. That's a lot of years of abuse that he documented on
8
that phone.
years.
We knew some of that
Yes.
information on the
Yes.
the sexual abuse
Sure
was
did.
very laid
Sure
out.
did.
What we're still wondering is how they finally determined that he was the one who killed Madeline Soto and filed those charges. That
He
interview
will.
and the interview from the next day does not quite show us that yet. We're still waiting on some of those documents. That's the question, the biggest question that
That
I
was his
get
trophy.
and that all of us
I think that was probably his first trophy. That was his first trophy.
are asking is what will happen with Jen Soto. And as early as Monday, I've had some conversations. We still don't know what police plan to do.
That is the big question in all this. Dr. Carol Lieberman, we don't have a lot of time here, so about 20 seconds or so. Why would he keep these? Why does he keep this stuff?
Trophy.
Because when he's not with Madeline, he can look at these pictures and videos and he can pleasure himself and go over the incident, go over what that felt like and how he felt, how, relive the experience in his mind. And so that is almost as good as her being there.
Ken Jackson, about 15, 20 seconds for you. What's the biggest lingering question you have after the release of all this information?
There's still a gap in the timeline from after they say he dumped the backpack and the laptop in the dumpster about 8:10, and the timestamps when they found the car in St. Cloud about 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We still can't account for the late morning and the early afternoon on February 26th, that Monday.
Joseph Scott Morgan, again, we only have about 20 seconds for everyone here. We don't have the medical examiner's report, but what questions would that answer that we don't have tonight?
I wonder, did he do anything afterwards? If you get my drift.
She, from what I've heard, she has sustained massive head trauma. And I think, for me at least, that car has to be torn apart from stem to stern. They need to look in every nook, every cranny.
Yes,
because
perfect.
if that is the case, that's just what I've heard. I can't verify it at this time. There would have been a copious amount of blood. So that would have to be accounted for, and that would put her in that car, possibly in a post-mortem state.
Shannon Butler, WFTV, Ken Jackson, Osceola News Gazette, Dr. Carol Lieberman, and Joseph Scott Morgan, Body Bags Podcast. Thank you all so much.
That is absolutely horrific. All right, someone wanted me to view Ziggy's live at 5340. Said something about Fred.
He was saying that he was in jail on summer. Well, what I don't know what she's saying. It's not possible, because is she saying this voice isn't possible for it to be his? Because we don't know when this video was taken.
Cotton stated to me that he was on the hill the day earlier the day someone went missing. So I don't know. I'm just going.
Yeah, I know that you said that. Well, what I don't know what she's saying. It's not possible, because is she saying this voice isn't possible for it to be his? Because we don't know when this video was taken.
Cotton stated to me that he was on the hill the day earlier the day someone went missing. So I
don't know what you mean. I wish I could put a picture, but he looks like a younger version of a creeper who took the little girl from Walmart into the van. Madeline said no more, or the age-appropriate boy crush. I think it was, yes, Rach. I think he... Oh, no. No. They will never be on the internet. Well, I see what you mean. Sorry. I thought you meant by, like, police or something like that. Oh God in heaven, I pray not. I'm sure that they've got them all off the internet if there are. Hopefully. Gotta hope. Madeline's mom allegedly dropped her off. Oh, it was Steven that dropped her off. Steven that dropped her off. All right, guys. It's 2:02. I'm going to bed. We've got a busy day tomorrow. Everyone get some rest. Get some rest. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow. I don't know what's wrong with people, y'all. I really don't know what's wrong with them. That was the helicopter tree trimmers were shown while the voice was spoken over it. See, I don't really think that's. I think someone was getting mixed with Fred saying earlier, not the M word. That video stuff, I don't think it's cotton personally. I don't think it's anything. I think it boils down to Don and Candace and Grandis is what I think it boils down to. I think the rest is just distraction and background music, to be quite honest with you. I think Don and Candace know exactly where Summer Moon Utah Wells is, in my opinion. They've got the history to with children and everything else. So they weren't 20 people involved. Yeah. I don't think that if there was more than people involved up there on that hill, then trust me, someone would have cracked. Someone would have been caught somewhere. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, thank you, Wist. People make it act like it's this big conspiracy and all of this. No, it's not this big. 20 people can't keep a secret. No, it's literally something happened on that hill and they hit her. I mean, it's really that. They lived in the middle of fucking nowhere. They were on a vehicle where they took the back roads. Don admitted he took the back roads. And he said if there's one way a person can get out of here and not see any cameras. But he was saying that the kidnapper could have taken that road, not him. Did they decide to seek the death penalty for Stephen? I hope so. Nothing less is acceptable. Nothing less is acceptable for Stephen or Jen, in my opinion. Jen is just as guilty. In fact, she was the mother that was supposed to protect her kids. And she knew this was going on. She allowed it. So, all right, guys. Ugh. Sick bastards. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, Summer's Army. Appreciate you. One Love September. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys on this late night. I'm starting to feel like a human being again. I was kind of a little down for a couple days, but we're back. So thank you all for your support. Appreciate it. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. Would greatly appreciate it. But glued to chair, yes. All right, guys. Good night. Oh, she got anxiety. Good night, honey. Good night, dear. That's sad. Got anxiety. Good night, dear. Little dogs when they got anxiety when the little storm hits. It's sad. Breaks my heart. Good night, Fusa. Good night. Wait, aren't there any mods in here? It depends what chat you're in. Depends what chat you're in. Congratulations, Whistle, by the way. Congratulations for hitting 1,000. Make sure you're subscribed to Whistle While You Lurk, one of the best clip channels in the business. Very good comedic energy on that channel as well. You're very welcome, guys. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We got a lot to talk about. Lab After Dark. Are you going live now, sir? I'll send them over there. It is only 11 p.m. where you're at. All right, guys, head on over to the Lab After Dark. We'll see you over there. I'll be in bed, watching from my bed, like most of you are probably doing right now. All right, guys, good night. God bless. Can I go to the Lab's house? Of course. Of course, you're allowed, Benson. Of course. Let's go. See you over at Lab After Dark.